Remember when I said that I wasn't going to make any more monster manual pages until after the Tasha's Cauldron Everything review? Well, Dead by Daylight just released their next killer, so we're gonna jump on that real quick and make another page. So with all of that in mind, enjoy the video. Welcome to episode 26 of the Metamagix Monster Manual and an extension of our Dead by Daylight chapter. The new killer was released about 24 hours ago, and in this episode I'm going to tell you how I think you should run the twins in D&D 5e. Now for this stat block, I wanted the killer's power to revolve around the player's actions rather than their own. So with that in mind, let's just jump right into it. As a reminder, you can find a link to the stat block down in the description below. It'll take you to my Twitter or my Discord, where you can find a downloadable picture for free. So these are the twins, Charlotte and Victor, and to begin, let's go over Charlotte's stat block right here. To begin, Charlotte is considered a large humanoid with the chaotic evil tag, same as all the other Dead by Daylight killers. She has an armor class of 13, 150 hit points, and has a movement speed of 35 feet. For the stat array, the notable stats here are strength at 16, constitution at 14, and a little bit of a higher wisdom at 12. Everything else stays at a nominal 10. For the damage immunities, she is immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks, but again could be turned down to just a resistance if your party is low on magic. She has a passive perception of 11, speaks 0 languages, and is a challenge rating of 7. So now let's jump into some gameplay to talk about Charlotte's unique perks and abilities, and to talk about Victor's stat block himself. So to begin, the twins' first ability is Blood Bond. While Victor is attached to Charlotte, Charlotte gains a +1 bonus to AC, attack, and damage rolls. As a bonus action, Charlotte can detach Victor, who appears in an unoccupied space within 5 feet. Victor shares Charlotte's initiative count, but takes his turn immediately after hers. When killed, Victor reforms attached to Charlotte at the end of her next turn. Victor will not reform if Charlotte is killed. So it's basically an infinitely respawning minion monster that will keep coming back until Charlotte is killed. So moving on to Charlotte's perks, first off we have a Hoarder. Each time a creature uses a consumable item within 60 feet of Charlotte, she gains a +1 stacking bonus to attack and damage rolls. This bonus resets at the end of each of her rounds. So look in the player's handbook for the lists of what consumable items dictates. You're looking at things like your healing potions, maybe certain throwable items or weapons. Anything that's consumable in nature, like by definition, will give Charlotte a +1 bonus to her attack and damage until the end of her next turn. So that when she takes her turn, her attacks will be pretty heavily buffed if the party is relying on a lot of items. Next up, we have Oppression. When Charlotte successfully hits a creature with an attack, all other creatures excluding Victor in a 30-foot radius must succeed on a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw or take half the damage dealt rounded down as psychic damage. For Charlotte's final perk, we have Coup de Grace. Each time Charlotte is successfully hit with an attack, she gains a stacking 5-foot bonus to her movement speed until the end of her next turn. So the more party members land attacks on her, the further she is allowed to move until the end of her next turn. For her single action, we have Blade of Marseille. A melee weapon attack +6 to hit, reach 5 feet, and deals 1d8 +3 slashing damage. Now let's move on to Victor's stat block and talk about exactly what he can do. So for Victor's stat block, Victor is considered a tiny humanoid with the chaotic evil tag, same as all the other killers. He has an armor class of 13, 10 hit points, and a movement speed of 40 feet. For the stat array, all of Victor's stats except for his dexterity are very low, with a 6 strength, 4 con, 6 intelligence, 7 wisdom, and 5 charisma, and a 16 dexterity. For the damage immunities, he is immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks, but could be turned on to a resistance, just like Charlotte. He has a passive perception of 8, speaks 0 languages, and is a challenge rating of 1/2. For Victor's abilities, the only ability he has is the same as Charlotte, the Blood Bond. It reads the exact same. For his actions, he has Pounce, a melee weapon attack +5 to hit, reach, 15-foot lunge, 1 target, and deals 1d4 +3 slashing damage. On hit, Victor attaches to the target, and the target becomes blinded and cannot be healed by any means. A creature must succeed a contested strength athletics check versus Victor's athletics or acrobatics check to remove Victor. And his other action is the Claw, a melee weapon attack +5 to hit, reach 5 feet, and deals 1d4 +3 slashing damage. So your goal when running the twins is either to get Victor out as early as possible to attack some priority targets, some higher damage targets to make them blinded, so they are basically out of commission until they remove Victor from the fight. Alternatively, you can keep Victor inside of Charlotte so she gains the bonuses to AC, attack, and damage. There are many different ways to play this killer. Just make sure that you can also get the party to use a lot of items, consumable items, so that Charlotte gets much larger bonuses to her attack and damage. But anyway, guys, that is how I think you should run the twins from Dead by Daylight in D&D 5e. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this stat block, be sure to leave it a like. This will now 100% be the final video before the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything review series begins. It's going to cover so many different videos on all the different aspects of the book. So be sure to subscribe if you guys aren't and not miss a single one of those videos coming about a week from today. But until next time, guys, have fun, stay safe, and as always, happy gaming.